This is going to be a Easter bunny with chocolate in it. I know, I'm a little early, but can you be too prepared? Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs and the Idiot Quilter, and welcome to my weekly vlog number 303 for February the 13th, 2023. And just right off the bat, if you watched Stephen and Walter live yesterday, you realized we had a bit of a technical problem. Or if you didn't watch it yesterday and you're going to the replay, you will see that there are two replays. The one with the longer time stamp on it is the real one. The problems were semi-fixed up in that one. The very first one, which is much shorter, is when we realized we were talking for a good 5 minutes before you could hear anything because there wasn't any sound. Even in the second one, until you get closer to the end, there is a slight echo. Now, you're also picking up my 3D printers. I don't know what went wrong, but I think I have that all solved now. So yeah, please bear with us. That's why there's two lives up on YouTube. Okay, now that I have that out of the way, let's take a look at what I've been working on. You've seen this. It's completely done now. It's the Cleopatra fan block table runner. It's all quilted, and I'll be talking about that in more detail on the next episode, which will be tomorrow, of the Idiot Quilter. And I also got it all quilted and everything, the Bear Paw table runner as well. And again, I will be talking a little bit more detail about these, about my design choices and things like that on the Idiot Quilter tomorrow. And this is what I'm working on right now. This is called Star-Crossed, and it's one I've had for a while. So I've got a good start on it. I'm about to put the borders on it, and once those are on, it'll be finished. Again, this is something I'll talk a little bit more about in the Idiot Quilter tomorrow. Okay, so let's go then to the channel of the week, the YouTube channel of the week, and this one's for you techies out there, and I consider myself a techie as well, and it's called Tech Zone. This week's YouTube channel of the week is for you techies out there, and this is all about the latest gadgets and tech and high-tech toys that are available, and it's called Tech Zone. And I find this really interesting because I consider myself a techie, and I really like to see what the future could bring. So you can see here they have innovations and inventions at Tech Zone. They do have a lot of things about cars as well. Not so much into the cars, but I'm into a lot of the other things. Popular videos, they have incredible bedroom and space-saving furniture, fidget gadgets, amazing robotics, coolest tents in the world, 8 advanced robot animals. There's just a whole lot of very interesting sci-fi-like devices here. So as I said, if you're into tech, you might want to check out Tech Zone. And you will find the link to Tech Zone in the show notes below. And of course, you'll find the link to Stephen and Walter Live there. And what else have I got in there? Last week's Idiot Quilter episode, last week's Stephen and Walter Live, that's what I'm talking about. Flip the page, that would help. So Chatty is there as well. So Chatty, again, for you techies out there, we basically explained how we use 3D technology to enhance our quilting and sewing projects. So that's all there for you as well. Frog in my throat. You probably heard that well on the sound, didn't you? Okay, let's go to looking out my window, my front door. Well, you can see it's still gray. It is about a little after 8 o'clock in the morning, so sun is up. It'll get brighter. Always does, you know. It's a theory I have, you know. At the first of the day, it's a little dull. By noon, it gets brighter. And by 6 o'clock at night, it's dark. Yeah, go figure. Anyways, the days are getting a little longer. And yeah, I know, we're all waiting for spring, right? Well, the snow is melting away slowly. However, this is Mother Nature's way of teasing us because winter's not over. Not here anyways. And we've had some mild days. The last few days been very nice. The week before that we had very cold days, but it's coming. There's going to be a big storm yet. Plenty of time for that. So don't be getting on your bathing suits and pulling out the chaise lounge so you can lay out in the sun and get a tan, because we're not done with this at all. But anyways, there is progress towards spring, and there usually is. Kind of happens every year, doesn't it? Okay, so that takes me to what's pissed me off this week. Well, it's Valentine's Day tomorrow. Yeah. Do you celebrate Valentine's Day? Do you expect your significant other to shower you with roses and chocolates and take you out to a nice expensive dinner somewhere and all that kind of thing? If you do, and if that happens, wonderful. But I have a feeling for most of us, Valentine's Day is pretty much just another day of the week. It is for us here. We are not romantic people to start with. And I refuse to be sucked in by the Valentine's Day commercialization. Well, basically Valentine's Day is a commercialized event. It was invented by the candy companies, the card companies, the restaurants, and everything like that. Yeah, I know there's a history to St. Valentine's Day because there was a saint called St. Valentine. If you go further back than that, it's something to do with Aphrodite. Some people like to associate it with the St. Valentine's Day massacre in Chicago in the 20s or 30s, whatever. There are lots of myths and legends around how Valentine's Day got started. It doesn't really matter how it got started. What really happened was the commercial interests got their claws into it and decided to exploit it to their advantage. I did read somewhere that the average amount an individual will spend on Valentine's Day is like $100 and some dollars. I guess that includes taking your significant other out for dinner. A lot of pressure on men for this too. Not so much pressure on women. Yeah. So Valentine's Day is sexist. Okay. If you look at the ads on TV or wherever, you buy flowers for the missus, you get chocolate for the missus, and the missus is expecting you to liberate her from her kitchen, undo the chain to the stove, and take her out to a really nice place and wine and dine her. Yeah. Rose petals on the bed when you get home, and we'll not go any further than that. Yeah, but that whole image of Valentine's Day has been created by the commercial interest, by big business, because they sell a lot of flowers. My sister used to work for a florist, and she said, yeah, Valentine's Day was one of the busiest days of the year for flower orders. Yeah, because for some reason, and how it got started, you're expected to buy flowers for your loved one. And if you don't buy them a huge bouquet of really nice flowers, i.e. roses, that cost, well, a lot, like in the hundreds of dollars, really, depending on how many you get and the type you get, then you don't love her. Okay? It is a sexist holiday. I mean, okay, I'm gay. Do I get flowers from Walter? No. No. Do I want flowers from Walter? No. I'm still a man, and I mean, there's nothing wrong with men getting flowers. I like flowers. But, to me, it's a waste of money because they die. Okay? A potted plant might be a better gift. It's just that gift that just keeps on giving. Chocolates. I like chocolate. But do I really want a box of cheap chocolates in an expensive box that looks like a heart? Because you see those out there everywhere. And usually the box looks really nice. You open it up, there's 3 chocolates in it. And it costs you $20 for that. And it's not good chocolate. I like good chocolate. We have a great place in my area that family owned that makes great chocolates. But I've still got chocolate left over from Christmas. Yeah. In fact, the other day we were in our cupboard and pulled out some chocolates in there that had bloomed. If you don't know what blooming is, it's this white stuff that comes up through the top of the chocolate. It's probably the separation of the oils and things in it. And that means your chocolate, it won't kill you if you eat them, but it means your chocolate aren't at their prime for that. So we kind of got rid of those chocolates. So, don't waste your money on chocolates for me, because I'd rather use that money and put it towards a nice meal out. That would be okay, except not on Valentine's Day. Because why? If you go to a restaurant, make reservations, a lot of places will have a set menu. That's $150 for two people, includes a glass of wine or sparkling wine or something like that they would like to pass off as champagne. But if it doesn't come from the Champagne region of France, it is not technically champagne. It's just sparkling wine. And, they've already boosted the prices on everything. I mean, we're suffering right now to go out for dinner anyways. The prices at restaurants have all gone up because of COVID. So they just add a little bit more on it, actually a lot more, for this special occasion. Oh, and there might be a special little bonbon in a nice little package on her plate. Again, very sexist holiday in my opinion. Okay, so yeah, you don't go out for dinner on Valentine's Day because, one, you better have made your reservation a long time in advance because places are packed. I don't know. I think in a lot of ways it's the guilty husband syndrome, or at least the guilt's been forced upon them. I slave all year looking after the kids, doing meals, working hard to help provide a roof over our head. The least you can do for me is take me out once in a year for a nice meal. Is that asking too much? Boo boo. Yes, it is. I'm sorry, but it is. Okay? If you want to take her out, or him out, for dinner, wait a week. Don't go on Valentine's Day. And the other thing is, too, cards. Oh, my God. Now, do people buy cards anymore? I've seen a lot of card shops going out of business thanks to the several factors. One, you can get a card on the internet. And you can get ones that are animated with cute little bears or something holding a heart saying "be mine" and all that kind of crap. And can you tell I really don't like Valentine's Day? And the cards are expensive if you can get a card. Like, we're not talking here, well, unless you go to a dollar store, and even their cards aren't necessarily $1 anymore. But if you go to a Hallmark store or something like that, you're going to pay $5, $6, $7, $8 for a piece of cardboard with a gushy little statement on it. Really? No, make your own. It's all there to just another gouge in the commercial year. Okay, they gouge us at Valentine's Day. They gouge us at Christmas. They gouge us at Mother's Day, at Father's Day, at Grandparents' Day, at Uncle and Aunt days. They have days for everything to get your money. They get us at Halloween. It's constant. It's just constant. So why waste several $100s on one day of the year? And to be a little bit more serious about it, do you mean to tell me that one day out of the year is going to counterbalance the rest of maybe the neglect you've given to your significant other? Is this like absolution here? You get a get out of jail free card because you have given expensive flowers or candy or have done an expensive dinner for your significant other? I don't think so. But to hear it on all of our media devices, television, YouTube, internet, Facebook, Instagram, all that kind of stuff, they start to make you panic if you don't have anything planned or arranged for Valentine's Day, because you are the worst person there is. And another group, not just the commercial interests, play on our emotions for this holiday. And it's not a holiday, it's one day, banks are open. Is the horrible idiots on Facebook who post pictures. Oh, my hubby came home and surprised me with a bouquet of long stem roses. He's so sweet. All the other husbands are looking at it and going, kill that guy. Because now we've got a standard we're supposed to live up to. Yeah. So, and then there's the people who get engaged on Valentine's Day. It's so romantic. Really. I'm not saying anything more about that. Bottom line of all of this is Valentine's Day is bah humbug. Okay, if you need an excuse to do something a little more special for your spouse, then why don't you make your spouse dinner, a nice dinner, if you don't usually do that? Or why don't you arrange a little couples getaway weekend, not on the Valentine's weekend, because everything will be double the price for that. Or surprise the significant other with a little small little gift. Nothing expensive, just something that says, I care for it. Why do you have to go out and spend hundreds of dollars to show you your love for somebody? I don't think you do. So, have a nice Valentine's Day, no matter how you do it. Okay, so let's talk about bah humbug and stuff. I have been reading Spare. Spare is Harry's, the royal family Harry, okay, William's younger brother, royalty, all that stuff. I've been reading his autobiographical memoir, whatever you want to call it. Oh my God, it sucks. I wanted to like Harry because I'm sort of I follow the royal family to a certain degree. Do I think we need a royal family in the 21st century? No, I do not. But it's like some people follow certain celebrities. I sort of follow, I'm not fanatic about it, the royal family. So, Harry has been getting a lot of bad press lately, ever since he married, Meghan and all that kind of stuff. They've been interviewed by several high-powered journalists, like Oprah. Can you call Oprah a journalist? If you really think about it, Oprah, who I used to watch, yes, I liked Oprah. But now, over the years, I'm starting to see that maybe Oprah was just a very classy Jerry Springer. Okay? Anyways, yeah, we're hearing all, bad boy Harry and all that kind of stuff. So I bought the book. And I'm reading it. And it is the suckiest bit of drivel that I have ever read. If he doesn't mention mummy, because that's what he calls his mother, Princess Di, mummy. This man is almost 40 years old, okay? Calling his mother mummy throughout. And everything stems back to his mother's death. Yeah, okay, I get it. He was a kid when it happened. Traumatic. He lost his mother in a very traumatic and dramatic way. And all of that. But come on. Get on with your life. Well, then he talks about his time in the military and everything like that. And he's always talking about the things that he has done for other people, for, veterans and that. And yes, those are all good things that he has done. But he always backlashes with it about how to make himself look, or at least it reads like that, better. That he's so self-sacrificing and, and he's been through the worst trauma that any human being on the face of the planet could be through. Mummy, 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 mummy. It's drivel. Now, I don't know who wrote this book. I'm assuming that he had writers for this. Because quite frankly, I don't think he's intelligent enough to be able to write a book. I don't. And this book, the prose in this book, the way it flows, the way it is written, to me seems like it's been written by somebody who knows how to write. Now, I don't know for sure. Maybe he did actually write it. Maybe I should give the poor boy credit for that he is an intelligent human being. I would like to think he is. However, right after reading this book, it's just drivel. Just drivel. I don't know how other people feel about Harry. And, quite frankly, it doesn't matter. Because how is Harry going to affect my life? He can't, and he doesn't. He doesn't. He is just an entitled, rich person who has the luxury to be able to write a book about himself, to be able to do things for charities. And I'm not saying that he doesn't do good work, that the charities that he is part of and that are bad things. They're not. They're not bad things at all. But in the book, it all comes back to him. He tries to come across as being humble and giving, but there's an underlining sense there that, he wants our praise for that. He wants us all to pat him on the back and tell him what a good boy you are, Harry. So, yeah, I'm very disappointed in the book because of the image that it is now put in my head of Harry. And it's not an image that I want to necessarily have, but I do. Well, you can get the book. You can read it for yourself and make up your own mind about it. But as far as I'm concerned, I'm a little disappointed in Harry. Yeah. Okay, so that takes me to my grow lights. And oh my God, this little experiment's working out so well. So here's the original grow light. Now, it's a jungle. Okay, we have to weed it out. Those are our herbs. There's some lettuce in the back there. It's sort of the second growth of lettuce from that lot, and it's not doing as well as the first lot did. We have chives still coming up. Don't ask me why we have chives. We do. Did you know that the green part on chives actually tastes like green onions? And you can throw them in a salad or something like that. Maybe many people knew that. I don't. I discovered that last summer when we had them out in our container garden. So I guess that's why we're growing them again. But in behind there, and you can't see it in this picture, we do have some green onions starting to pop up. So that's another experiment to see how those will turn out. But here's the other. Look at that crop of lettuce. It's huge. The picture doesn't even really do it justice. We've got a lot of lettuce there. But the other astounding thing is those other green things coming up are tomatoes and green peppers. Now, I don't know how this is going to work out. I bought dwarfed tomatoes. Supposedly they only grow 12 to 18 inches high. This grow light thing is supposed to, I think it's upper, like how high up you can slide the lights is about 18 inches. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. And with the peppers, I have no idea either. But, it's a fascinating experiment, so we'll see what goes. And depending on how long it takes the green peppers to get to a reasonable size, maybe before they actually start to produce peppers, if these ones ever do, it'll probably be time for us to be able to plant them out in the container garden, although that's still about 3 months away. So we'll have to see. But the lettuce is doing really well. So I'm going to suggest to Walter that in the first grow light thing, we cut back the herbs, freeze some of them for cooking, and repot everything, and maybe only have one of those containers, there's 4 of them in the grow lights, with herbs, and in everything else, just plant lettuce. because, yeah, the lettuce is doing well. And, with the price of lettuce in the grocery stores these days, well, this is a cheaper alternative. It really is. Okay, so that takes me to what I've been making on my 3D printers. Now, if you saw So Chatty this past week, we did a whole thing, as I mentioned earlier, about how we use 3D printing in conjunction with our sewing and quilting. But so I am doing something similar to that. But the first thing that I did, I sort of upgraded my oldest printer, the original Ender 3, version 1, I guess you'd call it. And so I put that new direct drive motor on it, and that's been working, knock wood, like a charm. It's really great. I'm waiting for the nozzle to clog and see how hard it is to unclog it, because it will. They do. It will happen. But in the meantime, I made us an accessory for it. A little tray. And this was one I downloaded and put it in, and it slides in a little further. I slid it out for the picture. But I can put a few little bits and pieces in there for the printer. Yeah, I know, real exciting, right? But when you have a 3D printer, you're constantly trying to customize it. And so that's a customization. But what I am making right now is a whole lot of these little gnomes. These will become pin cushions, and the little cup, the shallower part is for holding clips. I'm going to give these as gifts later in the year. I'm not going to say much more about that because some of those people that might be getting some of this stuff might be watching. So I want it to be a surprise. And the bunny in the back there, I'm making a bunch of these for Easter to put little candies in that, and set at, probably get some of those little cellophane type bags, and put a little bow on it. And I'm anticipating that we will be doing Easter dinner at my sister's this year, because we did it last year, and we did Christmas too. Her turn. And I'm just going to fill it with some, like those, what are they, Cadbury mini Easter eggs kind of a thing. And I'll put one at each place setting at her dinner. So that'll be nice. Those take a while to print. They usually take about 15-16 hours for one. And I'm printing them in a rainbow filament. That's why you see a shift in color in that. The unfortunate thing about using rainbow filament is you don't know how much of a color change there's going to be, because it really depends on the size of the object you're printing. Because rainbow filament is printed with, so much of one color in the segment, then it switches to another color. And so, it's kind of hit and miss how rainbowy an effect that you'll get. But I like using it anyways. So yeah, that's what I'm printing right now. And got to get back to it. Okay, so that takes me to Blast from the Past. We're getting pretty much closer to the end of Australia 2018 trip. However, I'm thinking that once this is done, and I think it'll be done, this might be the last week. Yeah, I think it is. This is part 2 of the Sydney Sea Life, the last day we had on March the 7th, 2018 in Australia before we flew home. So yeah, this is the last one in that series that I have been playing for been doing it for quite a while, haven't I? For a year? Has it been a year? Time flies when you're having fun. But I did put out a request to see, if you wanted me to continue with, pictures or these videos from my trips to Australia, because I have the ones from 2016 that I can do. And the ones from 2016 include New Zealand, because that was the first trip we ever made to Australia, but we did it as a cruise. And so we picked up the cruise in Auckland in New Zealand and traveled all the way down New Zealand to Tasmania and then to Australia, to Sydney. So I've had many of you have commented and said that you're enjoying the Australian videos and would like to see more. So I think that's what I'm going to do starting next week. I'll start with the 2016 trip, so you'll get to see New Zealand on that one. So anyways, this is the last one, and here it is. is Darling Harbour from another point of view. Heading over towards that big mall over there. Okay, this is a view of our hotel. You see the one that says Maritime? I'll pull it in as close as I can get it. That's it right there, that white building with the little pointy thing at the top. Where's my camera? There it is right there. Right along that. That's where we're staying. And this is the Australian Maritime Museum. And we're going to pop in and see what we can see that's free. Because I think they charge for part of it is free galleries. And to be honest, marine museums do not really thrill me, but we're here, so we might as well. We've done everything else, so we'll do this too. So we didn't go inside the Maritime Museum because it was going to cost like $32, and as I said, we're not really interested in maritime museums. Quite frankly, you've seen old ship, you've seen all the ship. So we're in the mall right now. It's down here. That's Kusha Stores. Oh, here's something. Let's go into real Australian. So here we are down on Darling Harbour having lunch, and you're never going to guess what we're having for lunch. We're having yak beer. We had that before. But go ahead. Guess. What do you think we're having? Are we having a burger? No, we're not having a burger. Are we having schnitzel? No, we're not having schnitzel. Are we having pizza? Oh yes. Yes, we're having pizza. I don't know how many times we've had pizza since we've been in this country. But
it's funny because it seems like coffee shops, we'd like to have a beer at lunch.
Yeah.
And the coffee shops all have sandwiches with no beer.
Yeah.
And the restaurants all have beer, but they have no sandwiches.
So, you know, if you want steak, not a problem. If you want prawns, and down here they've got kangaroo as well, which we have decided we're not trying kangaroo. We've done the research, and the feeling is that for us,
it'd be a waste of money.
It would be a waste of money because I don't think we're going to like it. The closest description we've had so far, Walter found on the internet, was that it tastes much like rabbit. I've had rabbit, don't like
wild
rabbit. And then all of them have suggested that there's a certain gaminess to it. I don't like gamey meat. So
yeah, and I don't even like lamb if it's a little gamey.
So not gonna have the kangaroo. I don't know if we'll bring back some kangaroo jerky for my sister. I don't like jerky, so it wouldn't matter. But anyway, she likes jerky, so it might be good for a laugh. But anyway, so we're having pizza. Now we are having, though, 2 gourmet pizzas. We're having a peri-peri chicken pizza, and we're having a, how do you say it? Chorizo and chili. So we'll see what that's all about. I hope it's better than the pizza we had the other day down here. This wasn't the same place, though. Okay, so we're back at our hotel room after lunch. We just picked up some kangaroo jerky. Not for us, for other people we want to torture. Although we might try on S&W Live this Sunday coming, we may try some ourselves since we did not have any kangaroo here because we were afraid. And so we'll see what it's like live on air. Be prepared for projectile vomiting. I have a feeling. Just saying. Anyways, we've exhausted Sydney. And we're exhausted. So we have some booze to finish off. We don't know what we're doing for dinner because we're not hungry at the moment. And I think we're done seeing the sights of Sydney. And we have to pack and everything for our flight tomorrow. So that brings us to the end of our Australian adventure. And that takes me to events in the past week. And I had a pop-up sew day on Saturday. And I think we were up to close to 30 people. Showed up for that. It was a lot of fun. I got a lot of work done. That one you see behind my shoulder over there, that was what I was working on, and I showed you that a little bit earlier. And we had a great time. And of course I purchased a few things because some people told me about some things I didn't know about and had to have. And that always happens on Pop-Up Sew Day. It always costs me money because everybody that comes to Pop-Up Sew Day is an enabler to me. So, but that's fine. Actually, I picked up a couple of patterns that I'm dying to work on. So there goes all my plans for this year that I carefully crafted out of what I was going to do this year. But best laid plans of mice and men, right? So anyways, but it was a lot of fun. Are we going to have another one? Apparently we are. Because I was told by one of my regulars there, my friend Jan, she said, oh, her birthday's close to March the 18th. We will have a pop-up so day in honor of that. So we are. I put it on the calendar. Hopefully nothing will interrupt it. There's no links for it or anything yet. I won't put those up until the week before with it. So it's not written in stone that that on March the 18th will be another pop-up so day, but it is penciled in. Let's put it that way. So just very advanced warning on that. But they're always fun. And what else is coming up? Well, for us, down the road, like at the end of the year, New Year's, we have booked, signed into a retreat. And this is one that's put on by Stephanie Stitches. And you know my good friend Stephanie. And we've decided we are going to go to it. And it's in Georgia. Yeah, so we're going to Georgia. Now we're going to leave on Christmas Day. We need the retreat starts on the 28th of December and runs through New Year's. We want to make sure we give ourselves lots of time to get down there because basically it's 1,000 miles, 1,568 kilometers from where we live to the place we're going to in Georgia. So it's a bit of a hike. We're driving because we're taking our sewing machines and everything like that with us as well. It's going to be a little kind of Christmas vacation kind of deal, which means that if we're leaving on Christmas Day, I'm not putting up Christmas decorations this year. No, because we won't be here for Christmas, in a sense. We won't be here for Christmas Day. And you want to know something? That's okay. That doesn't bother me in the least bit. When I was younger, it would have been taboo. When my parents were still alive and everything like that, my nephews and nieces were all little kids and that, there would be no way that I would be going away at Christmas. But things have changed. My parents aren't in the picture anymore. My nephews and nieces, half of them live out west. The other ones that are here are adults. I see them, fairly regularly already. So, yeah. So, we'll be leaving on Christmas Day. Now, the reason it's only going to take us probably 2 days to get there, but we're taking 3 because you don't know what the weather's going to be like that time of the year up here in the northern part. I'm not even sure what it's like in Georgia. I suspect it's a little warmer in Georgia in December. I don't know. I mean, I know it's not going to be like Florida or something like that, but, I think it'll be maybe a little less winterish. So, yeah, we're looking forward to it. The resort place looks really, really nice that Stephanie is having it at, or the retreat center, I guess it's called. It's actually been built for that purpose. And it's going to be fun. And I think I might see some of my subscribers there as well. So, yeah, we're looking forward to that. So we've got 3 trips this year planned. I mean, the floodgates have opened for travel for us after COVID. So Vancouver in April, the East Coast in June, and then big wait until we get to the retreat in December. We may have to come up with something between the East Coast and Georgia. So those are the plans coming up, and I can't think of anything much else that's coming up this week. So I hope you have an exciting week planned. I hope you do something that brings you joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye for now.